Hi folks, thanks for coming. Today, well this afternoon, I'm cooking a beautiful tenderloin tail from Klamath Falls, Oregon. My goodness me, this is beautiful. This is luxury right here. What I have done is I've salted it and I've let it sit for approximately 10 minutes. This is a premium cut, and who doesn't like a bit of tail, eh? Yeah, it's delicious. Anyway, cast iron pan on. I've heated it up for 2 minutes prior to turning the flame on just now because I wanted to make sure that it's very hot. Likewise, before I place this in the pan, I've also placed the oven on at 450 degrees. Before I place this beautiful cut of meat into the pan, I want to make sure it's hot enough to sizzle. How do I know that? Just a little bit of cold water, let it hiss and allow it to evaporate. I'm going to rub a little bit of white peppercorns in here that I've dusted. Throw a little bit of salt. I'm using Maldon sea salt, and I just want to seal this beautiful cut of meat off. Sealing it, browning it off just on the outside, lock in the flavours. This will be exciting to see it in the tail form as I roll it over and it's caramelised. I'm going to place a little bit of duck fat, rendered duck fat. Rendered duck fat will bring in a little flavour. It'll also allow my tenderloin to not stick to the pan. Because it's cast iron, meat can tend to stick to it. That's not a bad thing. All I want to do is roll it around now with that little bit of duck fat on there as the pan is heating up more so. And I'm collecting, as you can see I'm doing it, I'm collecting the salt and pepper that's in the pan, sealing off both ends on the outside of every section of the cut because I want to lock in those wonderful flavours. As I'm waiting for this piece of divine meat to caramelise, or I should say that dark outer layer form, I'm going to heat up this small pan just a little bit so that it's warm enough to transfer the tenderloin from one pan to the next so that I can fit this pan into the oven. Now I've turned the heat off, switched it off completely. The juice will reduce into a solid matter. As you can see, I don't want it carcinogenic. If I was to cook it longer, it would become carcinogenic. We don't want that. That would be burnt. I want it lovely and brown because what I'm going to do then is I'm going to place my potatoes in duck fat and I'm going to cook out that lovely flavour of what's left over of the meat into the potatoes. I'm going to add a little bit more duck fat. The reason why the flames appear is not because I'm trying to be a show-off. I'm not trying to show you anything in particular. I just want you to know something here. Be mindful of heat and oil or cold water or any cold substance to a very hot pan with hot oil in it. It will erupt. So don't burn your house down. Don't try and show off to your mates. Yeah. Just a handy little hint, okay? Lovely, look at that. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to now place this lovely tenderloin tail into the oven at 450 degrees. I'd like it to be lovely and pink on the inside when I cut it open. So I'm going to place it in there for approximately 15 minutes, 10 to 15. We'll see what happens. I'll check it. In the meantime, let's remember I have a lot of beef residue in here that has reduced. It's not burnt. I'm going to place some potatoes in there now. Before draining potatoes, I'm going to have a little bit of the water. It's a little bit of salt water. What that's going to do bring some moisture into the meat that is reduced so much that I'm doing a workout. Who needs the gym when you got a kitchen, mate? Yeah. As you can see, I've drained off the excess water. Rendered duck fat. Salt flakes, one is plain, one is smoky. A little bit of white pepper. I'm bursting my potatoes because I want to crisp up the outside of the skins. When they burst, the skin needs a little bit of that sexy crisp flavour, that salt and pepper, duck fat, and I need it to be nice and buttery on the inside of the potato. Have a little bit of thyme here, avocado oil. I don't want to overcook it now. I'm going to turn the heat off soon and just let it rest, because it will hold the heat, because the inside of the potato is very hot from being in the hot water. I think it's time to check on our tenderloin tail, and I'm going to pull it out now. If it looks right to me, we're going to let it rest. You see how it has a lot of spring? That means it's a great indication that it's cooking closer to medium well. I'm going to transfer this beautiful cut of meat onto the chopping block and let it rest for 1 minute. Food just keeps staying in my hand wherever I go. I don't know what happens. I love food. I always have this habit of picking up something and forgetting it's in my hand. Because we sealed this meat, it locks in the juices, right? And so that means there's less coming out when we finish. Look at that. It's me. I'm going to hack at this thing. I like rustic food. Food doesn't necessarily have to be perfect every time. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salted flakes. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in. I'm going to mix it around a little bit, just for shits and giggles. Have a little bit more flavour. I'm going to plate it up. Oh, and by the way, folks, a little gift from me to you and from United Harvest to you. By all means, please feel free to go to unitedharvest.com, and when you purchase this beautiful tenderloin tail, place in the discount code Chef Andre and enjoy.